It's Thursday night. All ye critters, come join us. It's time to continue our flight. There is magic and mystery from darkness. Our friendship will rise. But one thing's for sure, we never give up on the fight. Oh, get ready. It's Thursday night.
Last we left off, Bell's Hells here within the city of Eos, the city of flowing light, in search of information and individuals that they have been sent towards that are prominent members of the Grim Verity that may be able to provide some answers as to this growing Ruidus mystery. Upon searching them out, you also discovered that there are elements of the Vasselheim temples that have sent sentries and adjudicators across the city searching for, you presume, those who stole the secrets that the Grim Verity currently hold.
We don't got those.
You also were assailed by a terrifying necromantic bird that seemed to to be the long legendary shithead that in the past had harried and chased this poor automaton. After killing it and then watching it climb itself back up into the ground and then flying off into the distance, you begin to seek out where Ebenold Kai may have been, being told that he had not attended his classes and had kind of abandoned his post as a professor for a number of months. You managed to ascertain the information by charming, literally magically charming, one of the figures who works as a clerk at the seminary. They guided you to where he is supposedly set to live, but the house seemed to be closed up, and upon inspecting it, found that some elements of it were trapped and set up in a defensive way. Some of you masqueraded as gardeners for a while out front. Upon searching the household, there was signs of life, but no individual to be found until you discovered a hidden passageway behind the kitchen wall that led to a basement in which the figures within managed to try and escape, created an arcane circle, and bamfed away. You gave chase and found yourself within the fire elemental plane. Here you discovered some unique tidbits of hidden lore surrounding Ruidus, surrounding its creation, and surrounding the gods that no longer exist. You also know that these strange machines, the one that you knew was being built within the Feywild long ago by a union between the Cerberus Assembly, Odahan Thul, and Iroh Wendigoth, the Nightmare King, apparently is but one of three. One that exists in the Shadow of Hell, and one that exists here in Exandria, within an excavation site that the seminary was currently overlooking before it was forced to cede control to the Assembly in recent months. Now, after discussing some possibilities on how to tackle any of these challenges with just a little over a week left before the solstice itself occurs, you were sent back into the basement of Ebenold Kai, and before you could exit out to see your next wave of fortunes, you heard a heavy impact from the inside of the house above, some footfalls, and some words. It seems the house is being stalked by individuals who are seeking others. And the one voice saying, "Did you see him? You smell him? Find them."
Lana, did you grab the rod of holding? I do. Can you put it in front of the door? Yeah.
I'm gonna put it like at the very top and see if maybe it'll like stop
Like
the
garage
jam.
door?
Yeah, like in the very top crease.
Some garage doors, they have to come in to go up.
Okay.
But I'm just doing that to give us time to talk about the orgy we're gonna stage.
Wow, okay.
Or we could just fight for our lives.
That seems, yeah.
Well, Ladna, as you quickly kind of dart up on the balls of your feet, up the roughly hewn stone steps, up to the back side of this hinged door that leads outward into the the middle of the kitchen
Full,
area.
like, grudge.
Scurrying up to the top, you can see there's like two kind of bolt hinges that kind of hold it in place on the inside of where you are. So that way it kind of folds outward that way.
Wait, there is a handle? You said there's a handle?
Like if somebody were to try to like hold it from this side or to pull it taut against the wall, it can be tugged from the inside.
Big enough to slide.
Yeah, can I slide in between, like the handle
And the door?
You could.
I do that.
Okay.
I back down.
You hear a heavy impact. It sounds like a piece of wooden furniture, tall, ends up being thrown onto the ground somewhere within the building. They're definitely overturning the place.
I'm gonna detect thoughts.
Smart.
I'm gonna go towards the door as well and detect thoughts.
You sense 4 presences within the house.
That's half a hunk.
3 of them are kind of in near proximity, and one of them is moving around rapidly. Like, you sense it kind of upstairs, then over here, then upstairs, and back downstairs.
All right. I'm gonna take out Pate.
God, so cool.
And I'm gonna tell him you have to be fucking quiet.
Okay, I will.
Too loud. Really quiet. I need you to.
Yeah.
Go spider.
Okay.
Rib-like wings kind of curl back in as the whole form kind of swirls into this slight, almost like black mucusy bulb. As it hits the ground, turns into smoke and vanishes, leaving right there in its space where it was this tiny dark spider with like the easiest little bit of a bone-like head to
That's
it.
fucking awesome, bud.
It skitters out into the door and you can begin to concentrate.
Can I detect the thoughts of any of the people that I sensed?
The one closest to you, just the surface feelings, the thoughts that kind of come your way are, this better not have been a waste of time. Been waiting too long for nothing. I'm getting sick of standing out here. As the spider crawls out, you see one figure stepping into the kitchen. It appears to be humanoid, at a quick glance, half-elf. Kind of very thin in the face with a bit of like I want to say like a handlebar mustache that curls up into almost like a stonewall beard, but well trimmed on the sides. Long, thin brown hair that kind of frames the face, wearing bits of like leather like leather shoulder armor and these long kind of deep maroon and gray robes. They look like they're well dressed, and they're kind of glancing in the kitchen with intent. They begin to kind of like curl down and look underneath the central table. Pate also picks up this occasional sound from upstairs, this and then suddenly there's this like rush of air, and you see this somewhat corporeal form you can just barely make out through his eyesight and hear the sound of it, like this sudden cluster of a centralized located whirlwind just and kind of sits there and rests for a second. You can almost see the bulky humanoid form made entirely of swirling air kind of stand at the middle of the entryway into the kitchen. You see this almost sense of a face, and it kind of like
I gesture to let's go down the stairs.
I guide her down because you're blind.
Yes, I
right?
am.
Okay, so you slowly begin to descend the steps. The sound of air beginning to pick up within the kitchen, and you hear a voice go,
Oh, did you see something? You smell something? Where you smell it, boy? Show us.
It's very loud, and you can see dust beginning to kind of like push through the bottom of the doorway. Like there's a change of air pressure between the two rooms.
Oh fuck.
The wind, like the heavy wind of the room, gets a little quieter and calm.
I think this is when we start fucking.
the wall.
Still holding
Playing
it back.
dead or oh shit.
The dust picks up underneath the door a bit.
Are we dead or are we fucking?
The dust begins to heavily push out
See how far it gets.
as the wind presses beneath the gap at the bottom of the door.
Oh no, we're fucking. We're fucking.
Cast,
We're fucking.
And here at the top of the stairway, you watch as
light and spotlight on them.
so okay, hold on. What's happening?
Yes, Fern takes off her dress.
You wear
ready to go.
clothes.
I even have
Okay. As
just watching Fern.
an 8.5, 9-foot air elemental apparates from underneath the door and fills the entirety of the chamber. Little pet tank. The inside. Huh?
Included? Came in for
Apparently.
the ride?
Oh, yeah. I ripped my blouse off. I'm panicking.
Okay.
I'm shining spotlights everywhere.
I'm running up the stairs. And halfway up the stairs, I'm going to turn it to.
Okay, so you run out to the stairs and this entity is right there.
Panic, take off.
We're gonna have to go to initiative.
So wait, Fern and I's titties are out.
Maybe this is
We're gonna fight with our tits out.
maybe this is a super horny air elemental.
You guys are all in here, I guess?
Or is it the bottom of the
No, we'd be
Yeah, so Orm,
we'd
you're right.
be at the stairs. Me and Laudna.
All right.
Oh boy, it's cramped.
It is cramped. It's the basement.
Oh.
So big.
You see its eyes almost glow with this like dull, angry, furious, elemental, arcane power. As the rest of you rush down inside, Orm, you're right there with the shield and sword at the ready. You're about to leap as the transforming, partially nude.
I got my briefs on.
Okay, there you go.
And there's no way by, right? The door is still there, immovable, rotted shut.
The door is still there, movable, rotted shut currently, yes. It's just now, like, formed out. And it's just noticing you there, and you see, like, its eyes begin to flash in intensity as it begins to recognize that, indeed, it's found what it thought it was smelling.
Okay, I'm gonna look up and say, invite only.
Oh yeah, that's good.
Oh no, we're going.
Yeah.
Oh, I hit my knee. Oh, we're going. Oh god.
I'm holding an attack.
Next up is Imogen with Laudna on deck.
What's the sound, boys? We're just getting started.
You're gonna shout that phrase out, and that's your turn.
Yes, and I'll start to unbutton my vest.
Okay.
Oh my god. I pull out the trashy scry ball. And I toss it to FCG. And I say,
Oh my god.
don't do it. We have to hurry. We're late for our session.
What? What does that even mean?
I don't know, but I'm gonna roll with it.
It's just, we're just webcamming a bit.
I'm gonna hold it and aim it towards her. And shine the lights on her.
For her only heroes? All right.
I'll turn around on the stairs and face down, and I'll say,
Okay, I'm waiting for my action. Let me know when to enter the scene. I'm here to fix your pool. Is that my cue?
A voice from behind the wall, as the wall's now like it's being like knocked back and forth against the strain of the rod. Voice goes,
What do you see? What's down there? I'm hearing voices.
"Open it up! Open it up!" And the door's impacting. The elemental kind of like
I didn't know we rented a wind machine for this one. Oh.
Fern, you're up.
I'm just full naked. I'm gonna produce flame, and I'm just gonna like rave dance. Just like like.
Are you acknowledging the giant wind creature that just?
Not at all.
Okay.
I'm just lighting.
Like those burlesque
dancing,
performances
yes,
from, like, the
dancing around
20s?
Laudna, giving her the light. Behind her, interpretive dancing, shimmying.
The creature seems confused.
Okay. I'm gonna scoot forward, scoot back a little, and be like, I'm rolling. And then I'll say, hey, Windy boy, you're ruining my shot. Can you do that in the back corner, please, to get the hair of the girls going? And I'm gonna just point him to the back of the.
Oh, the pool boy's here? Is that the line?
Not yet.
You hear the heavy impacts of the door jammed against the movable rod that you've placed. Before you begin to hear the sound of some heavy-weighted instrument or weapon is carving through the wooden door false wall. Eventually, as that kind of splinters through and someone pushes by, and you can see the rod is holding itself there, but now the door is broken partially around it, and they kind of push past and pull it back in with splinters as they yank it backward. While this is happening, what do you all do?
Oh, we get more stuff?
I mean, if there's anything else you want to change, manipulate.
I'm gonna wiggle myself to the bottom of the stairs.
I'm gonna cast Mage Armor on myself.
Okay, as you begin to wiggle towards the stairs, the creature puts its windy arm out and prevents you from moving.
No touch, no touch, no touch, no touch.
You see a figure begin to look through. It looks to be this kind of half-elven, thin man.
What's going on down here? What's this?
Private party. Can I help you?
It moves past, and you see another figure standing behind him that begins to approach.
I need an invitation if you're gonna come through here. You got one?
I don't need an invitation where I walk. Get inside, up against the
actually-
wall. I've got some questions.
Who can I say is calling?
Interested parties as to the owner of this house. I'm not gonna leave that answers.
You can walk, or you can fight.
I didn't put the rules forward, so that's on you.
Mirror image.
Whip out grasping vine and pull the fucker down the stairs.
Fails the saving throw and immediately gets pulled down the steps right up into your face.
And I'm gonna make that a, oh boy, a trip attack.
Gets pulled towards you, you sweep with the strike and knock the legs out from under them as they hit onto the steps.
All right, so I yank him down, catch him on the blade, and then kick into his shin to bring him down to faceplant on the stairs. And as soon as he's down, he's prone at advantage.
All right, so with that, Chetney, you're situated right there. But, however, there are two other figures that are pushing through that are next in initiative.
Oh god.
One of the figures begins to squeeze through. You see a woman in a similar kind of garb. It looks to be two blades that are being drawn, and she kind of deftly squeezes through, rushes down the steps, and kind of vaults over the friend of hers, the ally that is now on the ground, and kind of pulling out of the vine, leaps down towards the two of you, blades out, and as she lands,
I don't know what's going on here, but it's freaking weird.
he kind of looks past the two of you to the rest of the group on the inside by the elemental. The next individual is going to go ahead and dart down, squeezing through, and it's going to just kind of hold the top of the steps right there. Okay, so next up in line is Imogen.
I don't either.
Oh, I'm gonna,
I'm sorry. Are you the owners? We didn't see anybody come in for such a long time. We thought the house was empty. I'm so sorry.
As the figure that entered here, currently pulling the vines off of its body that retract back to the blade that Orem is holding, kind of gets up and starts glancing over in your direction.
It's just so hard to find a place to do this kind of stuff, you know?
For a second, kind of glances over at this scene and goes,
And then this is a very strange misunderstanding. I didn't...
and then sees you with your like partially open shirt and looks at you and your arms and your wrists.
What are those markings?
Take them now!
No, I'm gonna bonus action.
Okay.
Misty step. Top of the steps.
Top of the steps. Okay. You Misty step, and you are apparating now. This door is busted open
Oh my
into
god.
the kitchen,
Cool.
and you appear on the opposite side in the kitchen, glancing into the steps that lead below. All right. And Imogen's turn. That now brings us to Laudna.
My scene partner! And then I transform a dread.
That is.
Naked Laudna, form dreads.
Oh God.
Yes.
As my neck cranes and then my shoulder blades rupture out of my body, I am going to then cast Spider Climb on myself. I'm going to leap onto the ceiling and Spider Climb out after Imogen.
As you head out towards the top, the two other entities looks back just as you skitter across the ceiling. You hear all the music and go, ah! There's multiples of you now skittering across the ceiling. One of them filters out. All right, that finishes your go. Jenny, you're up.
Okay, I'll run up to the top of the stairs as a giant werewolf, and go into the kitchen a little bit more and open up the doorway so I'm not, clogging up the
Okay, you
work.
got it. The elemental, which is going to go ahead and dart, stretching itself out, and whips through at an incredible speed.
Oh, wow.
To move 90 feet. It gets about there. Now, because it did swip through the area, Fern, Orem, Chetney, everyone except for FCG gets an attack of opportunity if they want to take it.
6, but I don't have any rights up. That's balls.
6.
Nah.
8 points of slashing damage.
I'm gonna make mine a goading attack too, so it has to beat a wisdom save.
Okay.
No. 100%.
The elementalist over here is going to get up.
That's an elemental?
Elementalist.
Oh, elementalist.
Angrily gets up and goes,
Oh, what is even happening down here?
and
Agreed.
stepping over its friends, scoot past its ally to the back wall, kind of looking into this space. Get the others before they escape! And bringing its hand forward, it pulls this orb from inside its robe.
Oh, no.
And as it brings it forward, this
Camera shoot.
the somewhat cloudy crystal begins to turn a bright blue. A massive blast of freezing energy
It's coming to us.
out into the chamber. There. I need
Nips!
FCG, Fern, and you want him to make a Constitution saving throw.
Much better.
10!
26 points of cold damage.
13?
He rolled really bad. 26 points of cold damage. And you take 13 points of cold damage. So, suddenly the entire interior of this room is flash frozen around you. The ground itself is covered in crystalline ice, and there are chunks of moisture in the air that have become just rocky protrusions of sharp crystal. Just around the ceiling and the area within. Your skin goes numb instantly, those of you who have skin. And as it retracts the orb, it kind of goes, "Dad, shit," and kind of shakes it a little bit. That finishes its turn. That brings us to Fern and FCG. Fern, you're up first. FCG on deck.
Is that just a big
I
big camera moves?
am just gonna start wiggling, and I'm gonna turn myself into a Clydesdale. Clydesdale?
Turn it into a Budweiser commercial.
Sure is.
Let's go.
Just didn't.
I'm gonna take off running. 60 feet.
Okay. So here's the thing. It's a very tight space here.
Yeah.
As you go charging up the steps, you are pretty much the entire size of this room, and you're not like galloping. These are weird stone steps, and I don't know if you've seen a horse go up like vertical stairs. It's like. And then you get to the door that's still mostly there, except for just the side of it that's been carved through and splintered. And you're now like wedged right in the middle of this hallway.
I didn't fully think this through.
She says in her head.
I understand what I should have done.
All right, FCG, it's your go.
It's my turn. I'm stuck down here with a bunch of bad guys. There's a big old horse's ass in front of me.
Laudna, as you're up on the ceiling hanging down, you hear, and you look and you just see just the nose of a horse kind of Just kind of shining through the door for a second before pulling back.
There's nowhere to go. I will look at there's 3 bad guys in front of me? Is that
There
right?
are, yeah, just getting back to
I
the
will cast a level 3 command
Okay.
on all 3 of them.
Command.
They have to command other people things.
Okay.
That's their
okay.
command.
You command
It's
them to command.
Yes, correct.
So 2 of them kind of like shrug off the influence, while the one with the orb goes, "Go forth! I told you to do something now! The thing! Go!"
I'm gonna move. If I can, I'll get at least to the foot of the stairs, if I can.
So that brings us to the roguish figure. Looks at you, and the caster next to them is going, "Do the thing I said! Go now! Quickly! Before things happen! Do it!" And you're like, "I don't understand what... Fine." Looks up at after these 2 switch places, gets a bit confused, and is less concerned about the immediate combat and more about the rest of them fleeing, and goes ahead and just kind of gives you a look, and then darts up the stairs.
I'm gonna kick with my back hoof.
So you like kick out with the legs, and you hit air and a bit of the stone of the low sloped ceiling that descends into the stairs as you kind of miss, and right as you bring your legs back down, your head, which has been kind of face downward, follows as it tumbles through the legs out through the middle of the kitchen, and has now emerged here to catch up to you, Chetney, and is going to go ahead and strike at you twice.
Oh.
That's natural 20.
Silvery bobs.
That is not a natural 20. That becomes it still becomes a 22 to hit.
I'm also going to give that
thank
advantage
God.
to Chetney.
So it's a total of 28 points of piercing damage to you, reduced to 14 you take. That's going to finish their go. And then now it's going to be this guy. He's going to get up for half his movement onto the ground, draws the blade free, and it's going to glance over to the caster and go, "I'm not sure you're asking, but they're running!" But it does push 10 feet past you up to the stairs and is now shield in front, blade out at the ready, and is now trying to occupy as much of the space. But as it kind of moves up and turns around, it hears the and looks over its shoulder, and hadn't noticed until this point in the middle of the focus, the horse that is kind of, the back of its legs are about 5 feet from its shoulders. Imogen, you're up with Laudna on deck.
I'm gonna put my hands up to my head and close my eyes and then shoot my hands out, and I'm gonna psychic lance both of them with
Both?
twin spells.
All right, so the elemental, that's a natural 20 on its wisdom save for the elemental. The rogue takes the
Fail.
full damage.
And then the wind thing got a natural 20 on the intelligence saving throw?
Mhm.
Okay.
So it takes half damage, I believe, right?
And it is not incapacitated, but the rogue is
Until the end of
incapacitated.
your next turn, right?
Yes.
So the rogue itself suddenly
Crikey.
grasps the sides of its head and like,
Wow.
the blades kind of like tingle to the ground right below, and it kind of begins to reach for them.
19 damage.
19 damage to the roguish figure.
The worst. 4 ones.
And 9 damage to the elemental. All right, that finishes your turn. Laudna, you're up.
I reach down and I grab my immovable rod.
Okay.
Instead of, I'll do that because we're running. I'll grab it, and I'm going to quicken a spell, and I'm going to do Bane on all of them. And then I'm going to keep spider climbing.
No, spider climbing
That kills my spider
falls
climb.
from casting Bane.
So
you,
I drop and run.
you land onto the ground.
Yep.
This area now is pretty cluttered right here. The rogue is flailing, like they're screaming and clutching their face. They're grabbing a blade and they're just like swinging around wildly around them. And in doing so, you're like, this is a bit dangerous. You can't quite get past, and you're kind of stuck in that spot at the moment. So, can't unfortunately move through that space. Finishing your go, it is now the elemental's turn. The elemental shifts over and now occupies the broken open doorway of the front of the chamber. As it does, it's going to go ahead and go into a multi-attack against you, as you're the one that's currently closest to it. Dude. She watches its arms kind of like pull into its body, and it turns into this large tornado torrent, and both of its arms begin to extrude from the sides like a spinning blast of hammers.
Yeah.
It's baned.
And with that, the Elementalist is going to go. The Elementalist, it doesn't take an action, it's just commanding. Keep doing it! Great job! Go after the thing! Whatever I said, do it! Now! And it's going to go ahead and run to try and catch up. And it's going to try and push past you after the rest of his party is just now abandoning this chamber. You can see now this kind of like muttering of frustration, and then all of a sudden the spell finally fades. Oh boy. So that's going to finish their turn. No, because that was their action. They'd have a bonus action still. They can Misty Step. Like appears, lands sitting on a barrel right next to you. You're there. The rogue is right there. There's the horse face pushing through the door, and in the middle of it is this werewolf with a giant flaming scythe. And the mage just goes, "What the fuck is going on? Who are you?" That's their turn. With that, Fern, you're up with FCG on deck.
All right, I'm gonna try to get through the door.
So you like nuzzle the door, and the door kind of like, it's now opening. The rod has been removed.
I'm gonna fly through the door and just fucking run.
Okay. There isn't a lot of room here to do this.
Oh, well.
Like almost none, because the person's behind you. You can try and kick them down the stairs to give yourself more room, or you can just try and
Yeah,
push.
I'll do one of those where both back legs go up.
Boom. They pull the shield up, seeing you, the legs reel up, and go, "Oh shit!" Put the shield up. Their back of their helmet like scrapes the back of the stone. It's like, tumble back. You, FCG, watch them tumble in your direction, and both you and this entity fall back to the bottom of the stairs and are knocked prone.
This is a clusterfuck.
Yeah, mage is knocked prone. The rogue succeeds, manages to like barely dodge out of the way, and you can try and rush through.
I'm just booking it.
You're just booking it. Laudna, are you going prone intentionally to let her go by?
I don't.
She can go past.
All right, I'll go first.
All right, Chetney, are you going prone to let her go by?
No.
Rushing through, Laudna goes prone to let you run over. You dart forward, and Chetney, how do you stop the horse?
It goes right forward, I just...
Just headbutt the horse. There's a heavy sound of cracking stone on stone, bone on bone, this heavy, sickening impact. And immediately you see this werewolf and this Clydesdale just dazed in the middle of the kitchen. I'll say that you can like spin around and kick towards the mage as he's like climbing off of the cabinet.
I'm just gonna start doing that thing that horses just kick their back legs.
Yep, just
and
going wild in the kitchen, just smashing everything around. It takes a heavy kick to the back of the shoulders, and like, the arms kind of popped out of the socket. And you see them going like, as they're like standing on top of the cabinet, just barely getting up onto one knee. All right, that finishes your turn, I believe.
Yes.
Downstairs is me, Orem, and one dude?
Yes.
And the dude is on top of me.
Pretty much. Like they're both on the ground, like shield is kind of leaned onto you. You're both prone. You can use half your movement to get up if you want to.
Oh, I don't have to like pry him off of me or
No. He's just been
Banishment.
Okay.
What? 4th level. Yeah. Get off of me! Get off of me! Get off of me! Oh.
As you push him off, he goes like, whoop, and it's just gone.
I will try to use the rest of my movement to hop up a few of the stairs to get a little closer.
You can see on the ground a partially nude Laudna is rolling around trying to avoid the clomping of hooves as this horse is just kicking and destroying the kitchen.
This is wigging me out, guys. I don't like this.
All right, that finish your turn?
Yep.
All right, Orem, you're up.
Man, if we survive this long, I know the gods are watching, and I'll use a bonus action to shoot Grasping Vine into the door jamb above Letter's head, and Spider-Man, like, yank myself up through the air, and just free fall underneath the Clydesdale's legs. I can run under people's legs.
With the rest of your movement, that
I'm
does
gonna-
get you up on the kind of the table there. You
Somehow
kind of tumble.
underneath me while just thrashing.
Yep.
Yeah, just
Kind of leap,
slide under her
leap
legs,
over
too.
Laudna, underneath the horse, then like tumbling through the legs of the rogue, and then manage to get out the opposite side. You'd be right next to Chetney, essentially.
Okay, and then I swing around low and slice at the rogue's ankle and try to bring her down with a trip attack.
Okay, you got it.
16 points of damage for the first hit.
How do you want to do this?
Oh, yeah. There we go.
I'll slide under the horse's legs, under her legs, come around, whap, to bring her down, just to fap, bring her down, and then bring it up the pommel of Seedling to bring it down to knock her out, and then hold, seeing that she's out.
On the ground, just out cold. That finishes your go, Orem?
Yes.
Oh no.
Alrighty. It is now the mage's go. Pop! Like screams, tumbles off of the side, up onto the ground between you, Orem, and Chetney, and goes like, Notices it's kind of, shit! Looks over and sees the rogue on the ground, shit! We have to go! Go! I'm doing actual command this time! Kind of still holding their arm, they pull back and take the orb out from inside the satchel, the other arm kind of hanging limply there, and kind of like, As they put the orb forward, previously you saw that dull blue glow, it becomes a bright, vibrant glow, and energy arcs around the bolt before, outward, a bolt of lightning.
No!
Hits Chetney, hits the Clydesdale, and hits you, Laudna, and
Bolt of lightning.
and you, because you're right at the top. Okay, so that's going to be 38 points of lightning damage to you, Laudna. So 19 points of lightning damage to you.
Kaboosh.
Your form
So
vanishes.
now
You don't take any additional damage on top of that, but you're now standing in the middle of the kitchen.
Still like it.
Still like it.
Indeed.
17
Over.
17 of you, so
Laudna.
you take 19 points of lightning damage. And for half of their movement, they're like, with the orb still there. So you're kind of small, and they're looking desperate. They're gonna just turn and run towards the step, and it's gonna try and leap through the window.
Nice. Attack of opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
And I'll
both
make it a trip attack.
Go for it.
16 plus 4 is 20. 20 points, 4 of which is thunder damage.
As they like leap through the air, putting their foot up onto the side of the table, you strike the back, cutting through part of the robe. You can immediately see there's like fresh blood on the blade. As they kind of tumble forward, they were going for a heavy, like, push and shoulder shove, but now they're just falling into the window now, and just end up going through onto the ground. The glass shatters, and they're now outside the alleyway, prone on the ground. But that's going to finish their turn. What you got, Imogen?
Fuck it. I'm gonna reach my hands up and put my hands into him and say, "You don't control me. I am the storm." And I'm gonna inflict wounds into his body.
So-
4th level inflict wounds on a wind creature. I don't know
Go
if
for
that
it.
works.
All right, so go ahead and roll.
Does
an
it
attack.
even work on a wind creature? Okay. 10,
Imogen
18, yes. 26 points.
26 points. As you like release this burst of necrotic energy into the body, the wind kind of like fluctuates for a second, and the form, you watch as some of the things that are inside of its body suddenly like drop, almost like the intensity of the wind for a moment begins to fade. And
I start to struggle a little bit, and my eyes are gonna flash red.
Ooh.
And I'm gonna pump 9 more points of psychic damage into
got
him.
it. Alrighty.
Popping and eating.
And still kind of holding its space there. You're both kind of standing off, both looking battered, so it's not feeling the need to run yet. Laudna, you're up with Chet and Jack. Get back up.
I'm up, and can I position myself to where I can see the elemental?
Oh god. Can if you'd like to.
Pete! Back in the elemental!
Little spider goes. And
Alright, I'm going to cast through him
okay.
Shocking Grasp.
You see this, you who are up close now looking at this like windy form around it, you watch this slight shadow glow as this tiny spider just kind of goes, puts its legs out, and it comes this dark shadow outline of a spider before this energy bursts from within, and the elemental,
Whoa.
and it's like starting, you see like the elements, the outside of its body, the wind starting to just kind of drift off and hit sideways things. It's having a hard time keeping itself together. Does that finish your turn?
I guess so.
Okay, now it brings us to Chetney's go.
The guy that dove through the window, I'll walk up to the window and just stick my head out.
Okay.
Is it very busy outside?
Kind of go up on the steps. At the moment, no. Like they don't at the moment see anybody in other edge of the alleyway. You just see the person on the ground like.
I'll through the window. Yeah. And I will just take 2 swipes at him while he's proned out.
You got it. It's an advantage on both.
21 points of damage.
21 points of damage. Oof.
On the second one, that is a 14 points of damage.
How do you want to do that?
He jumps over the side and says, "Hold still." And I like, on the second one, I just stick it in his back and kind of do the. So he's like, and I pick him up, and I look around and go, and throw him back in through the window.
Oh, God.
So there's a moment where you watch as Chetney just kind of leaps out. Onto the ground.
Is he dead?
I mean,
He's unconscious.
Okay. Oh.
the elemental. Previously, it had this kind of focused element, and now it's just.
And I'm just inside.
Or no, actually, no. You have quite a bit of movement.
Yeah,
Actually,
I'll make sure I hop back inside.
back up onto the table. The elemental, who is now unleashed without focus, is going to go ahead and kind of move into the center. It's going to go into a whirlwind. The tornado picks up as the whirlwind goes, and the arms once again flip out to try and hit you. You're just like easy to dodge. You can see it's flailing now, and previously its wildness was kind of difficult to see, but now it's starting to just strike out in all directions. That's 16 to hit still.
15.
Oh! Can I silvery barbs it?
So yes, we can. After you throw out the silvery barbs, Imogen catches herself on the table, and you realize that was her like rapidly dodging out of the way just in time, and then catching herself onto the table,
Don't sprain your back.
going wide, and then it's going to go ahead and flee. It's afraid of you. And that's an 90 foot fly speed. It just
We're gonna let it go.
takes off way out that way.
Oh no!
Tell Pate to poof and come back.
You don't see anything. You just shout out into the wind.
I'm gonna, if we're out of initiative?
Well, it depends.
Okay,
One of them is still bleeding out heavily.
Okay.
Do you want to?
I would love to spare the dying on that young man.
Okay.
Or woman.
Yeah. You go ahead and reach out and cast Spare the Dying. The bleeding, profusely bleeding wounds of this half-elf mage as he's like on the ground. They begin to slow in bleeding, and then the wounds stop. Begins to just breathe heavily. And in that moment, there's an odd quiet as you all kind of catch your breath and think, what the fuck happened? And you're in a residential neighborhood, making a lot of noise.
Wow.
Find the ringleader and let's get out of here.
I mean, it feels like it was
There
like
was
the
one
caster,
guy,
right?
There was one guy who was giving a lot of orders.
Yes, he was. The guy in the robes,
Grab
right?
him, grab
He's
him.
the one I stabilized, right?
Yes.
I'm gonna take the orb away from him just so he can't do any of that
I'll
stuff
lift
again.
him up.
Okay.
Like, let's take him and then at least get out.
Okay.
Am I picking him up and then we're leaving?
Can you be a horse again?
Yeah,
You were such a
much
big
less
horse.
I can
Conspicuous as a
absolutely
For
horse.
be
like
a horse.
no reason,
But like a,
kind of.
Time is ticking!
All right, let's go.
Okay.
Okay.
And we're out.
Should have done that outside! We're still inside!
I'm gonna rip a curtain down off of one of the windows if there is one,
There's many curtains.
and
around
I
the
throw it over the body on top of Fern's back to make it look, I don't know, like less like a fucking body being carried down the street.
The one that was banished has, at this point in time, you recognize it's returned into the basement.
But we're gone,
outside,
right? We're gone.
we
We're out.
run,
We're
we
going.
run,
We're
we
going.
run.
Okay, you guys charge out into the main kind of courtyard area where the gate is still kind of, partially open.
We should just make distance right now. Get out of this neighborhood.
You do see the figure who is, shield and sword, kind of like gonna hear the sound of their footfalls kind of entering the kitchen area as you exit. And you do know that they've arrived, they've returned, and they're frantically looking for what the hell happened and who's around. But you head off.
I'm going to lead us on, like, the first right or left we can take so that we are not in direct line of the door. I will take.
So while you begin to hear the shuffling of various wardens of the city rushing towards that direction, you begin to kind of maneuver around, spread out a little bit, so you're not just like one immediate cluster of individuals, and through this kind of somewhat disparate but watchful positioning, you get to incorporate yourselves into the nearby folks that are wandering throughout the city, kind of walking alongside the horse for some of you, others kind of pairing off and just keeping a distance, until eventually you begin to head back out into the main thoroughfare here in the Dominion Ring. You can see the disparate towers from the palace to the far northern side, as well as the nearby college, and many of the other businesses, the Marble Amphitheater. Everything is around you, and you have an unconscious body covered in a blanket on the back of a horse. A short walk later, pushing through the center of the chaotic center ring of the city, you come upon what looks to be 3 primary docks that hit here beyond, are just alongside flanking the eastward bridge. It is this massive, long sister bridge to the northern one that you remember flying over as you approached the city around sunset the night before. Looking beyond that, you can see all manner of carriages and horses and other beasts of burden that are at different distances heading from and to the city across that way, and probably close to 30 or 40 boats scattered across the waters, and about, say, 7 or 8 of them in the docks. But these docks are, they're busy. It doesn't look like they're in the process of dealing with a mass influx. Most people just going about their business. There are some small buildings where you imagine storage might occur, if not small merchants setting up whatever form of business they find to their interest. If you're looking for any particular kind of warehouse.
Something shadowy and kind of abandoned-y.
Yeah, all right. You find within another 2 to 3 minute period of time past that brief bit of internal intimidation, a small kind of storage space that is partway open. What looks to be 2 young orcish men are in the process of loading a series of small boxes and baskets into the back of a cart. What looks to be a kind of like a jungle cat of some kind. Not quite like the Twilight tigers that you encountered earlier, but a similar kind of panther-like visual to them, and you can see they're currently holding some sort of barding on them and are strapped in to pull the cart behind it. As the 2 orcs are finishing loading the cart, they go ahead and like pull down this large heavy door that unfolds kind of like as they finish it, hits the ground, a bit of dust rests in the ground. One of them goes ahead and locks it tight with this heavy old lock, checks it, get up into the cart, and then one of them kind of takes a small stick and pats the side of the panther-like cat, who then begins to parade forward and drags the cart behind it.
I will attempt to pick said very large locks.
You pick the lock, deftly remove it, and it is at your disposal. You can look inside. It's not massively sized, maybe like 20 by 30 feet, and a lot of it is just filled with all manner of boxes. It looks like rolled up heavy burlap or sail material. And you can see what looks to be like metal ratchets and bindings. There's heavy rope.
Some for his mouth, some for his hands.
Let's get him inside.
I'm already tying his hands as soon as we're in. Great. I'm gonna get the heads like this and wrap around and around.
The minute you pull the sheet off, as the door is closing, he immediately begins to mutter something under his breath. He goes, "Seven." And Misty steps just off the horse and is now about 30 feet out into the main road.
But we have the door shut, right?
The door is closing as he dashes. So like, he's like out in the middle of the road, onto one knee, and just starts going into a run.
Can I Misty step?
You Misty step gets you right next to him.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna immediately command him.
Okay. What are you commanding him?
Stop.
He goes,
Okay,
and at that point,
Drag his ass back in.
his shoulders just slump.
Grab his shoulders and push him back inside.
So he's now just accepting the bindings.
This way and this way, with the hands clasped in the center.
Well, isn't this a fine how do you do? Seeing as how he found you in the basement of Ebony, Ebenold's homestead, I assume that you're also in league with the Verity. Is this correct?
What is that?
Do with me as you will. I won't answer your questions.
I start rooting through Castor's pockets and bags. See if I find any, even like, I don't know, credentials, anything.
You rummage through the robes a bit. You find, you find 6 platinum and probably 65 gold pieces, a few silver. You find a pouch of spell components. He has his glass orb as well as the satchel that it kind of hangs in, which you see like snaps over almost.
You
like
got the glass orb.
I did get
Yeah,
Right off the
the satchel he has currently. No spell book.
Please, we genuinely don't know what's going on.
That's even better.
I'm gonna bane him.
You see him kind of like wince as the shadows crawl even deeper towards the crooks of his eyes and the sides.
And I'll cast Fast Friends on him.
Cast Fast Friends on him.
Sir, I'm also having a really rough day. I can really feel your pain. I'm sorry that we put you through that. But we could really use some help.
I don't know what help I could be to any of you. If you're truly outside of this and I've misjudged your intent, then it's best that you just walk away.
Why? Are we in danger?
Of course you are. You're getting tangled in with things far beyond your purview, especially a bunch of perverts like you. Not judging.
No, well, of course not. Who do you work for? Who are you?
I am a member of the Ruby Vanguard.
What is Ruby Vanguard? That sounds important.
right?
Yeah, we
Is it
You've
a-
not heard this actually.
No?
Is it a violent organization? A military group?
It is a group that wishes to ensure a better future for all Exandria.
You're trying to let him out.
Who?
The thing upstairs? Up there in the...
You don't seem as the godly types. Am I to make a proper assessment? Especially given the circumstances in which we met. Not the most pious of introductions, I assume.
No.
There are many gears in motion to free the chains that have bound every mortal life since the beginning of time on this planet innumerable.
Chains that bind life on this planet?
We walk in the shadows of the supposed creators, and have since the very beginning. Imagine if we all had the freedom to walk as we wish, undriven by fate, untethered by the wills of things that came far before we did, and have lost the right to call themselves gods.
So you're not the religious type.
No.
Like a fresh start for all of living things?
Yes,
Well, that sounds really nice.
it really does.
How do you do that? How do you make a fresh start?
Everything that's ever existed is part of some cycle of life, an ecology. To the smallest scales, of the tiniest insects to the mightiest beasts, there is prey, and there is predator. The gods, we have been told from the beginning, are the top of all life. But where did they come from? If they founded this world, they came from somewhere. And wherever they came from, they aren't the only ones. Everything can have a predator that hunts it.
When you said under him, who were you maybe?
The leader of our organization.
Is that a person? Or
It is.
Oh.
The one who founded many of these beliefs, and the one who has been integral in orchestrating a very long, intricate way to do what must be done. Not more than a little over a week's time. We'll all be free.
He sounds like a very wise person, or at least forward-thinking. Where can we find him, or
What's
talk
his
to him,
name?
or hear of his teachings?
You'll know of him soon enough once this is done. He's very busy right now.
Well, just maybe we could help the cause if we knew.
Or at least benefit from it. I mean, everybody has things in their past that they want to get rid of, and us too.
It's a bit close to the 11th hour to allow any sort of loose ends into a very intricately plotted, engineered moment. So I apologize if I don't find comfort in welcoming you into our respective troops so soon. But soon enough, everyone will know the change to come.
You want us to be free. You want a clean slate.
Don't you?
Are you talking about wiping out the gods?
We're not going to. We're only letting nature run its course. By setting free their natural predator.
Are you working with Thul?
When you say Thul's name, there is a glimmer of surprise and curiosity in their eyes. Thul has been rather instrumental into our organization.
Is him here on Exandria, or?
He moves around quite a bit. Many things to be attentive to. Many final T's to cross and I's in the days to come. It's quite accomplished.
Detect thoughts.
You get quick flashes of thoughts that kind of sit upon, they're asking too many questions. Maybe it's time to close this loop. Find a way out of here. Find a way out. Maybe there's common cause, but it's best they don't know.
Ira Wendigoth.
Oh, yeah.
You dig deeper?
Fuck yes.
You push past, and the deeper thoughts you hear are, Ira's been a loose thread for too long. If they know Ira, maybe they're on Ira's side. I'll have to let him know. He may be around here still. Maybe he hasn't left yet. If I can get out of here and let him know that Ira's still out and about. And you see flashes of an older, handsome, stoic, elfish man with long, silver hair.
Heresy.
You say into his head. He says out loud in response, I don't know where he is. I'm not his keeper. He's probably handling the keys. There's many things to do.
What keys?
It's interesting. For all the chaos, there's this, confident calm that seems to have come over him now as he's spoken a bit. The confidence comes from a zealotry and a belief in the cause. When you say, because you're probing, when he says keys, and you ask him what keys, there are flashes in his mind of a large machine. A strange, extended, slightly familiar build. Similar to what you saw in the Callaway layaway.
How many keys are there? And where does he need more? Maybe we can help him find her.
He says, enough. It's taken many years to set them right. The last one's finished. As he's saying that, because you're peering into his mind still. 3. In his mind, you see flashes. You see one surrounded in dark green twilight. You see one surrounded in deep shadow and craggy black obsidian ground, broken and jagged. And one deep in a dust and sand recess. A hole in the ground, amongst ruins and crumbled arches and structures, surrounded by torchlight and hard workers building.
And nothing in the pockets, right? Nothing on them, no objects, no spheres, standing stones, coin.
You bound them quickly, but as you're glancing over and kind of feeling it up, beneath the rope, there is a band that sits around each wrist. That is a very, very fine gold inlaid band with these kind of circular kind of inscribings, these kind of glyph-like inscribings around it.
What are these? Anybody seen these before?
These are enchanted. They are bracers of defense.
All right, we should take those.
Swipe those.
Now, at this point, I can only assume you're either part of the Grimverity or at least loosely connected. I assure you, these are very intelligent researchers, but they lack the vision to know what needs to be done.
What needs to be done?
To free us all. We have been their toys since we were given purpose. The minute one of us ascended to their position, they've quaked and feared us. We are not their beautiful children. We are their food.
The last time the
their
gods were
power.
pressed, millions died. You think it's gonna be quick and clean, what you're talking about?
That was us rising against them. But we're not fighting them. We're just unchaining the hound they fear.
Once he devours the gods, what makes you think he'll be satiated?
It only feeds on divinity of that scale.
How do you know?
Because he speaks with it.
Why do you feel like you have to live your life under them now? As we said earlier, we don't really consider ourselves a religious bunch. Why not do whatever you want? Who cares?
He just kind of grows a bit quiet with a smug smile. You'll know in time. Or maybe you won't.
I mean, I think I understand what he's saying a little bit. I mean, even though we're not religious, a lot of us have been influenced one way or another by gods or people who serve them. You know, the matron of ravens, or people that Orm's people follow, or
Doesn't the matron guide souls after they die? What happens to people that die? If the gods aren't around, is it possible to die?
We'll find out.
What did Zephyr have to do with any of this?
Kind of looks at you with a curious glance.
a whisper. Oh man, from hardcore porn to hardcore lore.
You know what Predathos wants? The freedom to make his own home adult entertainment.
Absolutely. Yes.
Unrestricted.
But I have heard it too.
Vivid.
So I was in his head.
I can not actually.
You can see it.
I only have one question. I mean, you seem really confident in all this, which is great. Congratulations. That's a heck of a thing to have the inside track on. What if this hound, to use your brilliant terminology, is let loose, consumes all the gods, and we are freed? Woo, tits out. If we are free and this entity just starts feeding, what if he doesn't stop and just continues with all the life on the planet as well?
Yeah, that's what I asked you.
Yeah.
When the shark finishes eating the fish, it doesn't go after the plankton.
That was pretty slick.
If we wanted to maybe go and talk to your person, master, boss man, where would we go?
In the Hellcatch Valley, right?
I
Your
am.
fault if you don't know where this guy is.
I just
What was
don't
his
wish to
name?
share the information.
He's tall and he's got silver. What was his name?
Mr. Deleth would despise someone of such terrible public decorum. I suggest, if indeed you wish to be brought into the new future ahead of us with some semblance of esteem, you learn some manners in the face of
Look, I don't think he's gonna give us anything else. I'm gonna send a message to Ren.
All right.
We've captured a member of the Ruby Vanguard. Do you want him? If so, come and get him. Otherwise, we'll end it.
Oh, interesting. No, please, yes. That would be quite helpful. Where are you?
And I'll quickly go out and see if there's any like identifying markers or.
The warehouse that you're at has like a faded brick color to it, and it looks to be a flagpole that stands up, but there's no flag affixed to it.
I'm gonna use my last remaining sorcery points to get my 3rd level back and convey all that.
You got it. Rin responds, "Oh, fantastic. Just a moment. I think I know what you're talking about."
Oh, shit.
So great.
Wait.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Hello?
Oh.
It's Rin. Open the door. I'm messing with you. Jeez.
That's a good idea.
You open the door and you see Rin immediately with a long, like, curved crown of horns and robes, kind of ushers in real fast, kind of cloak muscled around. So, who is this? Oh.
Let's take his stuff though before you take him. I want those bracelets.
Hell yeah, get those bracelets.
Fantastic. Why don't you give it to them? And she moves her finger in the air, and he kind of like, yeah, he goes, "Of course, I'd be happy to." He holds his hands out. So, does anyone else know about this? Your involvement? Anyone?
He was with a couple of other fighters. We escaped from them, but they were left at the house.
All right then. I would recommend keeping kind of a low profile for the most part.
Yeah, they seem to be working on a timetable.
Less than a week.
Talking about a week.
Keys.
Yeah.
It's
That's
what
what
he
he called
called the
The
observatory.
contraptions, the machines.
Yeah, the
Keys.
machines.
They're called keys. And she kind of like moves her finger towards it. She goes, yes, the Malleus keys.
There is a location to the north of Eos, here.
Right.
One in the Shadowfell, one in the Fae.
Right.
And I guess we're wondering, maybe you could ask our new friend, what's the softest target? What's the most important?
Actually, that's a valid question. Was it Toldis? Yes, Toldis. Toldis, friend, lover, absolute family member of this fine troop. If you would be so kind as to say which of these Malleus keys might be the most shaky. I don't know, the one that requires the most attention. As far as I know, the one here is near completion, but it's also the one that is the most attended. The first one built is the Fey one, but there's been some growing tension between the Assembly and the Court, and the Vanguard's been working hard to maintain that before the event. And the Shadow one? Oh, I don't travel there. It sounds scary.
Okay. We do have a +1 we need to pick up.
Oh, we can't leave.
Well, I would recommend find your friend rather quickly, and then let's get this on the road. I would be and normally I'm a very patient person, but yeah, solstice tapping. Faster and faster. So we need to get...
With an hour, I could get my sorcery points back, and then I could message Ashton.
Well, how about this? You take an hour break. You go ahead and figure out your friend. I will take that time to have myself an Eosin cheesesteak. It's been many years. And I figure while I'm in town, at least I can indulge a moment if there's anything else that can be done. Anyway, lifts her arm just into the air, and the whole side of the warehouse door just... See you in an hour. And like turns about and just darts off into the city.
Short rest.
All right.
All right.
All right, I'm gonna send a message to Ashton. Shit is going down. Where in the hell are you? We need to meet up. Stat. We gotta leave town. Stat! Jeez.
The spell finds its hook in the mind of Ashton Greymore, and the response is where we'll pick up on the next session.